Guys, this is unit inequalities, student handout number 3, solving two-step inequalities, and it'll look something like this. All right, let's get started. All right, two-step inequalities follow the same rules for isolating the variable. Think of it as undoing operations. All right, so two-step inequalities are the same thing as one-step inequalities, which is the same thing as one-step equations and two-step equations. It's all the same, except there's one additional step, which we talked about in one-step equations, and that's sometimes you'll have to flip the inequality if you multiply or divide across by a negative. All right. Anyways, step 1, undo addition or subtraction with the inverse operation. Same steps as two-step equations. Step number 2 is undo multiplication or division with the inverse operation. Step 3, when you multiply, this is the new thing, this is the new step. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality sign is flipped. Isolate the variable. Check the inequality sign. Examples. Remember, it's 2 steps, okay? All right, so we're going to subtract 9 from both sides because that's like terms, so we combine like terms first. Okay, those go away. You're left with 5x less than 17. Divide by 5. You get x is less than, that's 1.6 by the way, is less than 1.6. Okay, that's not 17. What a doofus, coach. That's 8, I'm sorry, which is 1.6. all right, next one. First step, combine like terms, get it away from x. Those negative 2x greater than 16. Negative 2 times x, what is the opposite of that? Divide by negative 2. Alert, alert, I went across the sign by a negative. So guess what happens? Left with x, flip the sign, negative 8. I didn't circle my answer over here. There we go. All right. Number 1, solve each two-step inequality below, then prove your answer is correct. All right, so each one here, I'm going to solve it on the part right here, and then I'm going to graph it, and then I'm going to go back and check it, okay? You should check it before you graph it, but I know I'm going to get the right answer, so I'm going to graph it first. All right. Like terms, so we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. You're left with 3k. Why did I get rid of the plus sign? Because it's not needed, okay? That means positive 3k, which is the same thing as leaving it off, okay? I feel like most of you know that by now. All right, is less than or equal to 12. Next step, divide by 3. You're left with k is less than or equal to 4. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and graph 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. Go back up here. It has an equal sign underneath it, and it is less than. Okay, K is less than. So if it has an equal sign underneath it, it is a closed dot. Less than goes to the left. Remember, your L's go together. Less than left. Let's go back and check it now. We should have did this first, but K can be any number less than 4. So let's make it 0. 0 is less than 4. Okay, so we're going to put 0 in where K was. So we had 10 plus 3 times 0. Whoops. Is that less than 22? Okay, let's solve that. 3 times 0 is 0. 10 plus 0 is 0. Is 0 less than 22? Yes, so our answer checks out. Okay. Number 2. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Those go away. Left with negative 4p less than 24. Divide by negative 4. Alert, alert, alert. I divided across the sign by a negative. So guess what has to happen is I flip the sign. P is greater than negative 6. So P can be any number that is greater than 6. So let's make it 7. So we're going to plug 7 in for P. Or not 7, let's do 0. Because 0 is larger than negative 6. 0 is an easy number. Okay, so 19 greater than negative 4 times 0 minus 5. So 19 is 19 greater than 0 minus 5. Is 19 greater than negative 5? Yes, it is. It's larger. So let's go ahead and graph negative 6. Negative 6. It was an open dot, okay, because there's no line underneath, there's no equal sign underneath it. And P is greater than, okay? So it's an open dot, greater than goes to the right. Moving on, number 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. Those go away, I'm left with 1/2 R is less than 3. I'm going to multiply by or divide by 1/2 because 1/2 times R, so I'm going to divide by 1/2. When you divide 3 by 1/2, the number actually gets bigger. R is less than 6. So R can be any number less than 6. So guess what number I'm going to pick to put in there? You're right, 0. One half times 0 plus 3 is that less than 6. 0 plus 3 is 3 less than 6. Yes, it is. Okay, so my answer is right. You actually really need to choose the number right below it. So I would need to choose 5, but 0 is always easy too. All right, so let me graph 6, 7, 8, 5, 4. It is a open dot because there's no equal sign under there, and R is less than. So less than goes which way? It's an open dot. Less than goes to the left. Okay, to the back page. All right, so I'm going to work each one of these out over there to the right where it says show your work. You do not have to check it. Okay, you can just solve it, put the solution, and graph it. All right. If I were you, I would work them over there to the right. I'm going to work it right below it so I don't have to keep scrolling back and forth. All right, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Going to be left with 4x less than 40. Going to divide by, make my lines a little thinner. Going to divide by 4, and I'm going to be left with x is less than 10. So I'm going to go over here, put 10, 11, and 9. It was a open dot, no equal sign underneath, and x is less than. Less than goes to the left. All right. I'm going to erase that real quick. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it. All right. Subtract 9. You're left with negative 6x is less than or equal to, I believe that would be 16. You are going to divide by a negative 6. Alert, alert. You crossed it and you divided by a negative. So guess what happens to the sign? It flips. And that is negative 2.6 repeating. So x is greater than or equal to negative 2.6 repeating. So you come over here. You can put 2 and 2/3 because that's actually what it is. I think it's negative, ain't it? Yeah, negative. And then negative 3 and 2/3. And then negative 1 and 2/3. Whoops. There you go. All right, go back. Your answer, it was a closed dot. Why? Because it has the equal sign underneath it. Closed dot. There you go. And x is greater than goes to the right. Okay. Next problem. Going to subtract by 8. Oops. Those go away. I'm left with 3/4 of x is less than 33. That is 3/4 times x. So guess what I need to do? I need to divide by 3/4 x. 3/4. And you're going to get, I'm going to write it right here, x equals 44. It does not equal 44. Coach Bartman messed that up. It does not equal 44. X is less than 44. My bad. All right, so come over here and let's graph it. 44, 45. All right, open dot or closed dot? Open dot. X is less than, so it goes to the left. Something popped up on my computer, so let me get it out of the way. Okay, all right. Number 5. Add 10 to both sides. Gonna get 2.5x is greater than 35. 2.5 times x, what is the opposite? Divide by 2.5. Those go away. You're left with x is greater than 14. All right, so come over here. 14, 15, 13. Open dot or closed dot? Open dot, x is greater than, so it's an open dot, x is greater than, so it goes to the right. All right, next problem, number 6, subtract 2. You're left with x over 6 is greater than or equal to negative 18. You're going to multiply by 6. Those cancel. You're left with x is greater than or equal to negative 108. X is greater than or equal to negative 108. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go negative 108 in the middle, negative 107, negative 109. Open or closed? It's closed because of that equal sign right there. Okay, so it's closed. Fill it in. And it is x is greater than, so we go to the right. Again, if you don't remember greater than, less than, if the alligator eats it, then it is greater than, so the alligator is eating the x, so the x is greater, okay? If it was pointing away like that, then it is less than, like that. That would be less than, okay? All right, number 7. Subtract 5 from both sides. You're going to get negative 21 is greater than 7x. Divide by 7. Yes, I divided a negative there, but I didn't go across and do negative to both sides. So I do not flip the sign here. Okay, I divided by a positive 7, okay? Okay, so all those go away, and I'm left with a negative 3 is greater than x. Oops. Okay. So negative 3. So x is less than negative 3, so let's go ahead and put our numbers out here. Open or closed dot? It's an open dot. X is less than, so the x tail's pointing to it, so it's less than goes to the left. All right, number 8 minus 6. Those go away. I'm left with 1.5x is less than negative 18. Divide by 1.5. And you're going to get x is less than 1.5. X is less than negative 12. There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in our graph. Negative 12, negative 11, negative 13. Open or closed? It's open. X is less than goes to the left. All right, number 9. Add 9 to both sides. You're going to get negative 8x is greater than 12. Divide by -8. Oh, alert, alert, I did it to both sides. Negative, alert. So guess what happens to the sign? It flips. And it is, that's a -12, by the way. It is positive 1.5. So x is less than 1.5. So let's go over here and graph. Open or closed? It's open. X is less than, so the arrow is going left. All right. You're going to add 6 to both sides. You're going to get 48. Divide by 3. X is 16, or not 16. 48 divided by 3, 16. All right. So x is less than or equal to 16. So the tail is pointing in red there. The tail is pointing to the x, so the x is less than. Open or closed? It's closed because of that equal sign there underneath the gator. X is less than, so less than goes to the left. 2 more and we're done. All right, so we're going to subtract 25. Whoops, sorry. Going to subtract 25. Going to be left with negative 10x less than or equal to negative 20. Divide by negative 10 to both sides. Alert, alert. We divided by both sides by negative. So what happens to the inequality in the middle? It flips. So we're going to flip it. X is greater than or equal to positive 2. So let's go ahead and graph this. It has an equal sign underneath, so it's going to be closed. That was a pretty dot right there, folks. I mean, that's a good one. All right, x is greater than, so greater than goes to the right. And the last one for today, we're going to add 5 to both sides. We're going to have 35 is less than or equal to 3x. Going to divide both sides by 3. X is going to equal 11.6 repeating, or it can also equal 11 2/3. Okay, or it doesn't equal, it's greater than. All right, so let's go over here to our graph. 11 2/3, 12 2/3, and 10 2/3. Open or closed? It's closed because of that equal sign. That's another good dot right there, folks. X is greater than, so greater than goes to the right. That is all for solving two-step inequalities. See you guys on the flip side.